Alright, welcome back. This is Dog. We are here at Tunguska again, down here at H9. This is one of the float spots I actually haven't tried before, so I thought we would give this a go. And as we go, we'll look at our setup here. I think we've got them set up for 20 clip, 1.5 meter depth, and yeah, let's see if we can find some whitefish here. All right, looks like the first rod has already gone down. We might be too late to, oh, we did get the bite. So now we want to watch the second and third rod. We are starting at about noon. So normally, of course, you would start this much earlier in the morning. But that bite happened so fast, I'm actually just going to throw it out there with the other two. All right, there's one on 3. There we go. Now we want to watch 1 and 2 here because you actually, it typically is worth it to put the rod down even if you have a fish on to try to land another one. They will typically stay on successfully. So we are at 158, 132, 1.5 meter depth, and then 20 clip. Although with my less than stellar match rods, I'm not sure if we're going to consistently hit that 20 meters. But we should be getting pretty close. On this rod, we should hit it a little easier. And we'll give that one just a little bit longer. I don't know how far down we should expect the bites to happen, but we don't want to wait too long with just one line in the water. That one did get hit, so I think we just got a fish off each line there, which that does not often happen to me in these situations. All right, so far we are catching pellet, humpback whitefish, and that's it. We'll see if that continues. Real quick, we have 11.6 fluorocarbon leader, size 8 hook, stonefly larva, mayfly larva. A little different than my typical match setup for floating at Tunguska. I usually have at least one with this bait combination, but I sometimes have a little larger hook. So I don't know, be curious to see kind of how well this works. There's one fish on. One thing that I have learned, at least for me, that tends to work better, that was a nice Arctic there, that tends to work better is, and see, really we probably wanted to get that first line thrown back out again, but because I thought there was a fish nibbling on the third one, I didn't. What works better for me is to not throw backwards. So I used to, at these float spots, would often kind of throw behind me. But, and I am just realizing something. These are just still set up here. I'm going to change these actually. This is going to give us color coordinated. This is going to interrupt our fishing, so it may, I mean, we already are starting late, so we're not going to get an idea of what a full day of fishing here is anyway. But we actually want to change this to match rig. I do have points in, all right, so I got to keep these the same color or I will, so I've been using this setup, and in my mind I kind of know what is 1, 2, and 3. So let me make sure I get this set up correctly. Okay, so now we're set up with match rod. It is true that I have points in slider float, and I don't have points in match rig at this point. So in some spots I'll go ahead and switch to the slider rig, but I think we want to, for these kind of whitefish, I think we want to have the match rig on. So we're going to do that. We're going to switch it to match rig. If I had known how much fishing I would end up doing, float fishing for like whitefish and stuff here at Tunguska, I probably would have done points in them. But let's go ahead and give this a hard cast because 20 meters out, we're not going to bounce back too much. I mean, I don't know that it's a full cast, but it's a pretty good cast. And these actually might go farther up there when the first one's already down. I think we're going to miss that. Yep. All right, let's pop it back up, see if this works in this spot to let it go at a closer distance here. All right, now we've got them all out. We can watch them. And hopefully we'll hit the next one that goes down. So now we've got them color coordinated. I'll be able to hit 1, 2, 3 a little better. Not that I won't ever hit the wrong rod, but it helps to have some difference in the floats out there. So one ended up going down again first. There's 3. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes it is worth trying to hit that. Oh, it bounced. We didn't get it. So now we keep our eye on 2 and 3. And we will not throw 1 out again just yet. I suspect that some people would just keep the momentum going, throw out 1 again. But for me, it is helpful to keep them somewhat close together. So I'm guessing that we will get at least another fish either on 2 or 3 in this situation in most cases. So I decided not to throw out 1 again and give 2 and 3 a chance. All right, let's go ahead and pull it in and restart these. That ended up being a little bit of a mess up there, but let me see what happens on 90%. Yeah, it's about the same. I think it's worth saving the time of just doing a max cast. All right, that's pretty quick on 3. Look like a legitimate bite. So the little fish, like the Cisco's, some of the little ones do that slow nibble, and I often miss those bites more than some of the actual fish that we're going for here. They tend to be more solid bites. But that one got on there so fast we were able to throw that 3rd line back out, and now hopefully we'll at least get 1 or 2 more fish as they drift down here. So there's an example of missing 1. We really are hoping to get at least 1 more fish here before we reset them all. See how good the bite rate is down here. Looks like 1's got a nibble on it, but it didn't go under. Yeah, it's a little slow right now. Time of day might have to do with the slowness, though. Hopefully it will pick up as we get into the evening a little bit. All right, I'm about to start pulling them back. I don't really want to take the time to just have them floating down the river. So we only got 1 fish out of that drift. That is hopefully going to be not the average. All right, now let's look down there and see if either one of them... I really think 1 was just getting nibbled on by something small there. So on the other side of the river, when I have done this, I've never had this specific bait combination on all 3. Because I feel like this bait combination... So when I was talking about don't throw backwards, that's kind of what I mean. I really want to put them like right in front of me. It tends to lead to less of a drag issue where you're having to reel in all that drag because basically the fish is the line is just going away from you instead of first coming to you, getting all the slack, and then slowly going back away. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this fish in and then just start these over. We had 2 quick bites. That kind of makes me wonder if maybe we do want to like move down just a little bit so that our straight cast out may get those initial bites a little faster. So let's try this. And I'm doing max cast mostly because of the time that it takes to cast. You see how fast that first bite was? So if we hadn't done a max cast there, I don't think we would have gotten it. Go ahead and reel this guy in unless we get a bite on the second one. All right, we missed that. So we're just gonna, actually we'll let it sit while we reel this in, but then we're gonna just start over on all 3. There's a nice Arctic. So that's what I'm wondering is if back here, the bite rate might be just a little better. And then we're not having to cast backwards for the most part. So now we really want to watch those floats that are out there while we're repositioning this one. You don't have long typically when one goes down to try to get it before it's gone. All right, that was a fake bite anyway. All right, so we should be good here. There we go. Yeah, see how much slack that had in it? I picked up the wrong rod. Yeah, we almost just might as well just reset here. We'll give it a second and then we'll reset. All right, there goes the second one. Reeling in all that slack, the time that takes can be the difference in catching the fish and not hooking the fish. I like it. I like that these Arctics seem to be pretty prevalent down here. I don't know what happened. This float never came back up, I guess because we didn't open the reel back or whatever, but I don't know what I did there, but it was not good. All right, let's reset this. So even in the little bit of fishing that we've done here, I can see that this spot does have promise. Good humpback whitefish, and look at the Arctic mules coming out with the pellet. So a lot of the species that you do want to see. And oddly enough, none of the, what are they called? Not round whitefish, broad whitefish, which normally those are so much of what you see in these spots. But again, we're not necessarily using the bait combination that gets those most often, and maybe those just aren't in this spot as much. All right, there's one, so let's watch the other two. Looks like the third one's about to go down. All right, we'll reset one. We'll start trying to get into a little different rhythm here of resetting things. All right, so we've got 1 and 2 still out there. 2 just flipped over. There's nothing on there. 1 got a small nibble. Doesn't look real though. Nice Arctic. All right, if we have time, we want to get 2 in and start it over, but we need to watch them. Yeah, I think we're good. Go ahead and pick up 1. You don't even have to wait till it lands. If another one goes under, you can go ahead and start the process of putting it down before it's even landed. So one thing I'm noticing is look how much drag we're having. And I think that's because of the overcast of Max casting it like that. So let's see if we take the time to do a normal cast, if we have as much line just sitting there. We may still have just as much, because again, it's floating right in front of us. I don't know if it'd be better if we cast like this. We could reel it in a little bit and then open the reel. Maybe that's what we should do, at least when we have time. Alright, there's 1 going down. See, there's so much line off of 3 right now that if we have a bite like we just did, it's going to take forever just to get to the fish. There it goes. And then 2 went down. That's going to be a miss. Nope. Oh my goodness, we got all 3. Didn't really notice if any of them felt particularly strong compared to the others. We'll get 3 next. I didn't notice 1 very much, but I think it was probably the smallest. Let's hope I'm wrong, because these 2 were not markers. Yeah, this is tiny. So unless it's like a different species, that looks like just a really small one. Okay, so we ran into a small group there. So yeah, like that looks better. I like the percentage of the ones that we're actually getting here, but in terms of not missing too many bites. But we have had quite a few not being markers. Alright, so reel the slack in and then open the reel, and then we'll just hold number 2 and see if our first or third rod goes off before this one does. There goes 1. And you'd like to think at that point the line is pretty tight anyway because it's drifting away from us. So seems like that's why that worked out pretty well. Surprised that 2 and 3 have made it that far down without getting a nibble. And if you're getting a pretty good bite rate and you just want a little less stressful experience, just fish with 1. You're still going to catch a lot of fish. You're certainly going to miss less, and it's going to be a lot less intense. But when you can get on the roll, and sometimes like we've seen, you'll actually catch one on all 3 of the lines, then that's when it starts to pay off, I guess, having all 3 set up. So 1 should pop back up out there. I'm not sure why it hasn't. There it is. Yeah, I'm seeing now that, especially on the first 2 match rods, which are just better match rods, I really don't have to cast that hard to hit the 20 meters, so we may be able to control it. All right, so there I hit the wrong rod, although it was a fake nibble anyway, so it kind of worked out, but that's interesting. So we'll watch 2 and 3 here while we reposition 1. Yeah, I couldn't figure out why my reel wasn't closing, so kind of got distracted there. So there went 1. We should hit that, yeah. That's a tiny fish. I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 again. It's at least a chance of a marker, I would say. Nope. That fish on 1 has just been there forever. But unless it's a Cisco or something, it's probably not a marker. Alright, so even Muskin's in this spot, huh? Oh, we didn't get it. This is very intense. I'm going to go ahead and reset too while we're waiting. Just don't like when they get super far down the river because it feels like it slows us down so much. Man, that stinks. Good thing we got that when I was about to be frustrated. That was like the perfect storm there. Unfortunate timing. 3's about to go down. Oops. Yeah, if I... Let's let 2 join the party here. Alright. 3 is still getting that weird nibble. Oh, okay. I figured it was going to miss. There goes 2. Got it. I think 1 just bumped under 2, didn't it? Slightly. Yep. Wow. That's when it works. You know, when you get a fish on all three, that's when it works. Doesn't always go that way, but you're definitely thankful when it does. All right, let's go ahead and get this fish in. Oops. Did that really go under? Yes, it did. I think they both did, which means we have a chance of missing both now. All right, let's open this reel. We'll give it a second. Oh my goodness. All right, we gotta watch them. I think this reel is closed. Yeah, it was. Okay, we're good. 132. Three's got something going on. Kinda. It's faking us out. Nah. Fake bite. Three and two. The bite rate's quick enough that a lot of times we're getting a bite on at least one of them pretty quick, which is nice. But if you want to catch a ton of broad whitefish, this doesn't seem like the spot. Although I'm not sure if it may be that having a nice percentage of Arctics is actually gonna end up being pretty lucrative instead of catching all of the broad whitefish. We'll see though. I can't remember exactly how, because usually in the other spots that I've fished, all of these fish are typically biting, so I don't remember really how they all compare to each other. I just know that it's typically pretty good silver. All right, we should be able to get another decent fish or two before it gets too late. There we go. Sometimes this time of night is when the really nice ones can come out. So when one's this good, I might hesitate to drop this just to hit two, because this is like a legitimate good fish, so I just kind of want to get that one in when that happens. Oh, two's going down, I think. Yeah, there it goes. All right, now with this fish, we would definitely drop it to hit one or three if we needed to. Looks unnecessary though. All right, there goes three. Even if we miss the bite, I think we just pull it in at this point, recast it. Yeah, unless we catch another fish. That way we are always working on either trying to catch a fish or reposition to keep it closer to us. I like it. I cast that way too hard. Alright, let's recast three for sure. If we have time to. It's weird how sometimes the bite happens so fast like it did on these, and then sometimes, like on two, it'll just keep going. And there are a lot of folks who have definitely mastered this 3-match float fishing, especially here at Tunguska, a lot better than I have. I feel like I make improvements every time I do it, but I just haven't put the time in like so many folks have. But I can see why they do. I mean, it can be lucrative. It's been a really, in terms of silver and XP, it's been a nice way to be able to level up float fishing and yet still feel like you're doing so well. Bite rate's going to really slow down here as it gets to early evening time. But we'll see if we can't get one more fish. Hit it. Yeah. Oh, I like it. Alright, I'm going to cast him out one more time here. I have seen some people just like fish for these through the night, but it does slow down so much that it's probably better just to give yourself a break, rest, catch a couple catfish if you want. Once it gets to be this time of night. Wow, we got really fortunate on that one. Fish hit it just as we were going. Could we possibly get all three here? Nah. That'd have been way too much to ask. But you see, we're still getting a pretty decent bite rate at this time, at least. We'll see. I don't know if that'll continue. Maybe till 11. We'll still see some fish. I think while we're watching 1 and 2 here, we throw 3. The more I'm doing this, the more I feel like right out in front of us here, it's a really good chance for something to bite right out there. Hopefully we have enough time. Yes. Because that could literally be the last fish we see. You never know. Is it down? Not completely. One's about to go down, I believe. So they're still biting a little bit. It's sad. I have no points in match rig. I don't think I have any points in fishing with a match rod, so we're definitely a little bit gimped in the way I've done skills for this. Match rod 0, match rig. Oh, we do have 1 point in match rig. Yeah, that is a long time for all 3 of those to be not getting a bite. Even though we were only here about half a day, I think we did fine. Probably made 100 silver. Silver adds up in these spots. It really does. And I've heard of people occasionally catching Nelma and stuff on these. That has not happened to me, but some folks have been occasionally running into Nelma on these. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so as a little bonus, I know in the last video I showed you trolling here at Tunguska, and I think I mentioned in that video that at night I've been going for cats. So obviously we're going to be, by the time we get down to where I want to show you, it's going to be a little late. So normally I've been trolling during the day this whole 7.5, 12, even down to the 16 meter hole. But then for cats, I go up to the 11-meter hole and just drift with a couple of Texas rigs and a jigging rig. We'll see if we can get anything on that, and then we'll just do it for a couple in-game hours before we wrap it up, and then we'll go look at the silver just based on the float fishing, and then if we have anything else to add to it, that'll just be a bonus. I have been getting more cats between like 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. I don't know why, but they seem to slow down for me later into the night. And so if I don't get 2 or 3 there in the first part of the night when I first put my trolling gear away, in my experience, that typically means I'm not going to be getting them. And so far, when I have drifted the other holes, like the 12 or the 7.5 meter hole, I really haven't, at least in the last couple days, gotten as many cats as I have up in the 11 meter hole. And obviously that changes and can change pretty quickly, but that's just been my experience so far. All right, let's just get a little bit into the hole here since we have missed most of the night, or some of the night. And then let's go ahead and shut the engine off. And we'll throw these Texas rigs in. I don't throw these out. I mean, it goes really far, but I don't typically throw them out as far as I do the spinning, the Dodger wobblers when I'm trolling during the day. So. And then this one, instead of being a Texas rig, is actually just a jigging rig. They all have the same bait on it, which is that quicker. And yeah, so we'll see. We'll just give it a couple minutes here and see if we can't get something going. Looks like some folks are catching some catfish at Tuba. That might be a fun thing to try out. I haven't tried for catfish in a while. And really still haven't had the success that I want to have on catfish yet. So it looks like one of them. Oh yeah, this one. Hopefully this will be a catfish. It also pretty high frequency of getting burbot like this as well, obviously. But it's almost always a catfish or a burbot this time of night. Every once in a while you'll hook into something else, but alright, so there's a little burbot, a little marker burbot. But hey, we will take it. Again, just whatever you were doing during the day, you're just icing on the cake kind of thing with what you catch at night. See where we're drifting here, and I try to start in the northern part of the hole because we're going to tend to be drifting sort of south, I guess. As we move west. I think that same rod has another fish on it, doesn't it? Yeah. You never know which rod they're going to focus on. Seems like it's this one over here tonight. Alright, let's see if we can get you a catfish to see. A little 1 kilo marker catfish would be fine. There we go. I think it's just big enough. $7.98. I'll take it. Especially if you get up in the 2 kilo range. Those catfish are obviously not that difficult to target. And worth some really nice silver at the end of the day. Just give it a little bit more time here. And then we'll go check and see how we did on silver. And then I will leave you to it. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. We're getting to that 2 a.m. time. Cats kind of disappear from me. Let's make sure this guy's sitting on the bottom. And I don't know if it's that, maybe it's not the time as much as maybe it's that just right now I'm getting a better bite rate right at the beginning of the hole we're fishing in. It looks like something is on that line and just like swam right towards the boat. That's why we've got all that weird slack going. Now it's swimming away. This feels decent, which means it's probably a burbot. You hope it's a catfish, but if it feels large at all, you've got a pretty decent chance that it's a burbot instead, but we'll see. That is a catfish. Very nice. So that'll be over a kilo, just over a kilo, almost 10K XP. Again, very much worth it. And we'll throw back one more time. I forget how far this rig, that cast is just so far, where this one is so short. I have to remember which is which. So whether you're trolling during the day or maybe doing that match rod, float fishing during the day, there's all kinds of ways to put together really good both silver and XP days here at Tunguska. And usually we can see the bites from the lines moving. I'm seeing if I could prove myself wrong and catch a catfish past 2 a.m. There's no reason why they should stop biting again unless they're just more prevalent in the first half of the 11-meter hole. If anything, this late, sometimes I'll see another burbot show up, but and you notice we've caught no fish on the jigging rig. I have felt like that for the catfish, the Texas rigs have been more consistent, which means I should probably turn this one into Texas rig as well. Then you can try out multiple colors with the with that one part of the Texas rig that I can't remember what it's called right now. All right. Starting to get a little light in the sky. That line has really drifted over to the right, but I guess not because there's a fish on it, probably just the way we're drifting. So we never did drift down any. I'm used to, I guess we could have gotten on a straighter course here right down the middle of the 11-meter. I will try to do that next time. I thought that I was seeing more of a downward drift, but we've really stayed pretty straight actually. All right. The crystal bead is what I was referring to. I think we're using blue and red right now. Let's go see how we did. we'll see how my how work goes tonight. If I have time, I may do some non-Tunguska spot checks. See if we can try out any spots at other rivers and lakes right now. Alright, so I guess we'll double check cafe. Last I looked, I don't know if anything we're catching out there would have. Oh yeah, so if we get a 3 kilo Arctic, that'd be nice. How much time's left? 41 minutes. Glad I looked at this. We've got the perfect humpback. So, alright, let's look at silver before we claim the cafe order. Let's just, so 222 silver total. Let's start here and just do the whitefish. So 197. Yeah, those humpbacks really good, and the Arctic's also showing up pellet. Yeah, so that's really nice. I like that. And again, we didn't start, I mean, that was what, half a day basically. So really nice silver. I like it a lot. So that adds like 38 plus 215. It's a really good day of fishing, considering we missed the first. They would have been biting for about 6 hours or so that we missed out on if we'd gotten, like, if we left now and the boat went out to that spot, we'd have some more time. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Continuing to have a lot of fun at Tunguska as well as all the other maps as too. So hope you are as well, and I will talk to you next time.